Okay, good evening, everyone, all the educators from different parts of India. And here we all have gathered today to not learn actually, to discuss and to know, get a few more ideas about how the art can be integrated into the science classrooms. When we talk about science, basically, science is something which is always art integrated, as we can understand. And especially when we are talking about biology, we have these diagrams. When we are talking about chemistry, we have the structures of the chemical bonds, then separation techniques where we need to draw, we ask our students to draw them. Flow charts are there. Then if we talk about let's say physics, we have graphical representations which we commonly use: motion and time, acceleration. Then for sound, convex mirror, concave mirror in case of light. So we are already, the subject science as a whole is actually art integrate. But then when we but that is, the primitive part, I will say, that is the primitive way we are using art. But now, as CBSC is more and more stressing on having art integration into science, it has literally become for the teachers to brainstorm themselves. And whenever we are talking about art integration, I have found from my experience that always with the same lesson, you will always be getting a new way of integrating art. So that is a constant process going on. So with, suppose when we were doing with let's say with the offline classes, when we were doing the offline classes, that point of time there were different other ways of art integration. But with online classes, there were many different ways of art integration which evolved. Like we have now started using quite lot of ICT tools. We are using, even in Google, we are using the Jamboards quite often. So all these things, you can see a evolution in art integration also. So I will be taking a few aspects today. Art integration in itself is a very wide topic to be covered in one hour. So I will be taking a few which I have seen through my online classes, have proved fruitful. So let me start sharing my screen. I hope you people can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am. We can see.
So let's start with the webinar itself. What exactly we are going to do today, what we will be sailing through. Firstly, we will just look into the meanings of science and arts, then art integration, how it is being considered in the schools as a part of curriculum, what are the three ways of integrating art in the school curriculum. Benefits of art integration. Definitely, when we are talking about or we are dealing with any new thing, we always have to see the benefits of our students, how the students are going to be benefited. Not only students, as a teacher, I always like a part of education which benefits the teachers also. So art integration, how it is benefiting the teacher also, we will look
Ma'am,
into
you can
it.
make it that
Full screen?
slideshow. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am.
Ah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, then we will be going through why art in science classroom, how to use art in science classes, and then quickly, this will be quick topics. I will not discuss much because we all know by this time that what is art, how it has to be used, why it has to be used. So I will directly move on to art integration in science for grade 1 to 12. Grade 1 to 10, I have included more because from 11th onwards, it becomes physics, chemistry, biology. So not much I will be able to include because this I have done with art integration in science, not physics, chemistry, biology specific subjects. Then we will learn about 5 P's of art integration and a quick teacher's checklist, which was given to us from CBSE. I will just discuss it. I will just go through it. That's it. Recapitulation. So when we talk about science, what is science? Science is nothing but a systematic knowledge. Any branch of study which concerns the observation skills. So in science specifically, you will see that observation is given a prime importance. If we don't observe our surroundings, we will be unable to deduce anything. So what is art then? Art, if we talk about, we always it comes to our mind the visual representation. What visual representation? Whatever we have observed, after observation, whatever we have deduced, the visual representation of that is art. So that is why in the beginning of the webinar, I told that art and science always walk holding hand in hand. So what is art integration? According to John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts, art integration is an approach to teaching in which students construct and demonstrate understanding through an art form. That is the basic thing which we all now we know about art integration. Now there are 3 ways of introducing art into the curriculum. Art as the curriculum, wherein art is specific in a timetable. There's a specific time period allotted for arts. One is art enhanced curriculum, which focuses on arts as a way to enhance, way to explore a curricular concept. So in art enhanced curriculum, the teacher is not required to be knowing about different forms of art. She should not, she or he doesn't require to have a specific training in different art forms. And art integrated curriculum. Art integrated curriculum is where the arts are the method for exploring the curriculum itself. So when we give project-based, when we teach concept through a project-based method where we integrate art, that comes under art integrated curriculum. So this particular style actually has dual objective. First is it includes the art form, and secondly, it also includes the content knowledge along. So if you look into, because we are all from different schools, but if you look into the way the art has been integrated into our school curriculum, you will find that all these 3 we are following. Now I will come to benefits of art integration. There are multiple benefits of art integration. I have taken a few main ones, like art integration always leads to students' participation. They are actively participating in the classes, and as a result, what happens? There will be long-term knowledge retention. Whatever topic we are teaching, it will be long-term retained by the pupils. It is holistic and experiential learning always. Then it also helps to inculcate 21st century learning skills, which is very, very important, which I discussed in my last webinar also. Communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity. All these things are very important. These are not only learning skills. I will say that they actually help our students somewhere to evolve as a better human being, and to he or she is better equipped for the challenges to be faced in life later on. And for 5th is teachers empowerment. How the teachers are empowered through art integration? Firstly, what I have felt as a teacher while I was including art into my science classrooms, my empowerment is I myself is brainstorming. I myself is creating few new ideas. And that is where I feel empowered. And then when I look into my children, they are all excited to join the science classrooms. They are always, they are always thinking, okay, God knows what ma'am is going to give us next. So that curiosity, the involvement, and the way my students are evolving through each concepts I am teaching in the class, that also empowers me. So teachers empowerment. So why art in science classroom? First is we have diverse learning, children with diverse learning styles. So art integration always suffices to these different students with different learning styles. To cultivate passion in children towards science, obviously when we are working on some concept, we are creating something out of that concept knowledge, we will be passionate. So students become passionate while they are building their own creativity, they are coming out with their own creativity, they become more confident. They also, not only they become confident, they get inspired, they inspire also their fellow beings. And there are many different art integrated ways wherein the student also subtly develops the problem solving abilities. So that is why we should include art in our science classroom. Now, how to use art in science classrooms? First and foremost thing is, if you go through the curriculum of different classes, you will see that in every subject you are not required to use art. Every topic doesn't need it. Every topic has a different way to be dealt. So that we have to keep in mind. And whenever we are giving any kind of art project to our students, one thing has to be very clear to the students, that why they are doing it. So you have to explain the purpose for using an art project. Then art representation, art has different forms: music, dance, then visual way of representing it. So we have to try to use these multiple forms of artistic representation. We should not be only restricting ourselves to the diagrams or the drawing part. We can include everything into it. Language as an art we can include. I have, in one of the webinars, I have learned about culinary art that we can introduce. So all these things, we have to somewhere keep on researching, keep on brainstorming to use multiple forms of art. Then we have to choose the type of activities where art enhances the project and hence the subject knowledge. So this have to be kept in mind. So these are the different forms of art which we can use in our classrooms. Out of this, music, then visual arts are almost every time we can use, in whether in offline or online. Theater and dance also can be used, but in the form of video clips. So we will discuss all about it. So let me come to art integration in science for different grades. I will start from the lower one. Yes, yes, sir.
Is there a waiting room in this?
I don't think so. I have not given any waiting room this time, sir.
Okay, because many people are saying they're not able to enter, so I thought I'll interrupt and ask
okay,
you.
No problem. I will stop sharing. I will just see. It will be better. Sorry, teachers. I will just look into it.
Paulvi ma'am, the slides were not shifting actually.
Slides were not shifting, is it?
Yeah, it was on the first slide only.
You were on the first slide only.
Okay, otherwise also I have not done much right now. I will be sharing my screen back again, and you just tell me, whenever you feel wherever it is not shifting. So I'm sharing it again. Can you see the slide now? Yes, teachers?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Can you now see the shifting also?
Yeah. Now.
Yeah.
Fine. So I will keep in this mode only, because sometimes in Google Meet I have seen when we are making it full screen, slide doesn't slide from one to another. So I hope this is pretty much clear to all of you, the slides.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. So mask making. So this is, where we are doing with, I am going to down into the younger stages of the school education. So if in grade 2, grade 3, you will see that we generally talk about EVS, not as science, and we have multiple things for them to be introduced. So there are few topics, like if in grade 2 I talk about, we introduce different animals, different nutrients like carbohydrate, vitamin in a very small, in a very age appropriate format. Then in grade 3, we have foods we eat. Then there is a lesson called Poonam's Day Out, where Poonam goes out and she experiences different animals and different living organisms around her. So there, this mask making can be used. But always in lower grades, what I suggest is mask making should be followed by role play. Because while we are doing mask making, this particular mask making activity, actually what I do is I always collaborate with my arts teacher. At the beginning of the session, we make a master plan, right? So in that master plan, we already know what exactly we are going to do at what point of time during the academic session. So what we can do is we can always take help of the art teachers. We can share our master plan with them. We can tell them that, okay, in the month of July, I will be doing with Poonam's Day Out, let's say, and I want you to help me by helping my students to make masks in your art class. So once they have done with their mask making activity there, then you can come to your class and you can say that, yes, I have come to know that your art teacher has helped you to understand how to make masks, and you have made beautiful masks. So now what we will do, children, in the next class, whatever mask you have made, I am giving you 1 day or 2 days time as you can see the children how they are, because that is very important to be taken care of. So after that, you can say that, okay, so after 2 days, I want you to do a role play on the mask you have made. So see how crazily the students will be coming to you. I have done it in multiple number of classes, and I am blessed with my experience, because I have worked in few different schools, and I have got this opportunity to teach right from grade 2 to grade 12. So I have also evolved. So anyways, if I'm talking about, let's say, we come to mask making again, I remember when I was teaching plants in the lower grades, we were teaching fibrous root and taproot, then flowers, parts of plant, basically. So I asked my students that we will do a jam. And what is jam? Jam is just a minute. And I said, what you will do is you are going to role play. I will give you just 1 minute where you are going to do role play. And let me see what you want to be. If you are a plant, which part you want to be. And thus, a very beautiful session was organized. And then I included, because that time CCE pattern was there. So I included this as one of the activities later on, because it happened to be a huge success. But doing this, always I will tell you, please do share with your children the rubrics that will help them to tune themselves properly. So now I will move on to, even in role play, I wanted to discuss one more thing. In one of the workshops I went, and there I, with one of my teams, I performed one role play of showing acid and base reaction. Very beautifully done. So, but that role play can be done in offline modes better than in online. But this mask making along with role play for junior kids, you can always do in online classes. Even I will suggest the teacher can also make one mask, so that she can also motivate her students. So she can start with the process and students can follow. Then comes poem or poetry, followed by drawing or visual representation. Now, multiple number of topics, right from grade 2 to grade 10, we have multiple number of topics. Like we have topics on pollution, we have topics on environment, different types of, like, saving trees. And, we have, even for acids, bases, and salts, I remember I made my students to write a poem in grade 7. So poem writing is a very nice thing to do. But in lower grades, what I will ask you, let us give them few rhyming words. And those rhyming words should fit into that poetry, right? So rhyming words will lead the students to write better poem. So here, after writing the poem, because this is language arts which we are including, now slowly ask them, once they have come up with their poems, you ask them, okay, nice poems you people have written, but if you could have represented it through a beautiful drawing, I would have loved it better. Just say this and see how nicely they will come up with different types of, visual representations. according to their poems. So this poem writing can be done in almost all the grades, as I have told you. For example, in grade 3, we have Water, O Water, where we can ask our students to write poem on how to save water, water conservation. Then we can ask them to make, even in grade a little bit higher grades, we have Water Cycle. So we can ask them to write a poem on water cycle. This activity I have done in my class, so I can personally tell you that this was a very beautiful activity which happened. Then for physical and chemical changes in grade 7, we can do. For getting to know plants in grade 6, we have a lesson where we can do it. Then if I talk about light, and if I talk about sound, there also we can use this poem thing again nicely. So there are multiple subjects where, not subjects, multiple different topics where this poem can be used. And then we will come to leaf art. So leaf art, what basically is leaf art? Now in grade 3, then in 4, then in 5, we are constantly giving them small informations about plant. So somewhere we are teaching them leaves, how leaves look different plants have different leaves, different edges, so that is there. Some leaves are long, some are small ones. So these are the different things. And flowers we teach them. So what we can do is, this is a leaf art. This can be done in the classes. This can be done in grade 4, it can be done in 6th also, in 5th also. We can do this activity wherein we can ask them to collect the leaves and then to dry them properly. Okay, so basically what happens when you are teaching this leaf art in your classes, basically you are subtly teaching them how to create a herbarium. So if this set of students, if they are going to take biology in their higher level, they know already about how to make herbarium. So subtly you are doing all the processes. They are learning skills. These are the skills which they are learning in leaf art. So then they can portray different things. So this leaf art is a very good thing. This also I have done in my school, so I can tell you that this works very well. Then collage making. Collage making, generally we always do. All the teachers, we are doing collage making in our schools. So collage making in the lower grades, we can use for food we eat, houses, different types of houses. You can see I have put one. So here they can color, they can draw on their own, they can make collages, they can put it. Then there is one lesson called Hututu in grade 4, wherein you can do collages of different games or different sports person. Okay, from which region of India they belong. So we will be integrating SST also here, right? We are integrating SST also here. So that can be done. Then there is, I will just request the person who has unmuted herself to mute. Thank you. And then there is in grade 5, there is a lesson called a snake charmer's story, wherein they learn about snakes. So we can ask them to collect different pictures of snake and a little bit information about and put it in a collage form. Now here what you can do in addition to it, you can ask them, suppose this is it's a collage of different butterflies. Suppose I am doing for snakes. Ask them to put all their collages in a form of snake. The whole collage should look like snake. Or if I am doing with vegetables or different flowers, ask them to show it in the form of flower. Okay, so that will enhance somewhere their creativity. So we can do this. Even for higher grades also, collage making we always do, like in acids, bases, and salts. Actually, that is one of my favorite topics. So acids, bases, and salts, when we are teaching, generally what I do in my classes is I ask them to peep into mama's kitchen. I say, go and peep in your mama's kitchen and find out what are the different types of acids and bases mama is using first. Then you go to different parts of your house and see what different acids and bases you are using at your home. So, and then you draw the pictures or collect the pictures, put it in a collage form and put it in such a way that acids are on one side, bases are on one side. So I give them this. So that can be done in grade higher grades also. In grade 9, we have different forms of energy, under work and energy. where we can show different forms of energy like mechanical, heat energy, chemical energy from real life. Try to give them these collage making so that they can relate the subject knowledge with the real life. That will help the topic to be understood better by the students. Then comes origami. Origami is actually a traditional Japanese art where the paper is folded into a variety of decorative and representational forms. Especially animals and flowers, plants also can be done. So while in small grades, when we are teaching animals, plants, different types of fruits or aquatic animals, terrestrial animals, amphibians, we can always get in touch again with our art teachers and we can ask them that I am teaching this. Can you help them to do some origami on based on this particular lesson? Then we can have paper puppets. As you can see here, this type of things can also be done and they can do a puppet show in the class. That can be arranged for one single period. So these things can be done through origami. And origami actually increases different types of skills like eye-hand coordination, then fine motor skills, attention span of children. These are all getting enhanced when they are doing origami. So with origami, yes, we are actually scientifically working with our students along with art integration. Now comes the mind maps. Mind map charts, these are the diagrams which, they organize the information visually. So mind maps can be used in the lower grades also, they can use in the higher grades also, depending upon the topic. As I have told you, we have to look into the topic and we have to find out which will work best for retention of knowledge in that particular topic. So in case of mind map, if I go to grade 4, then there is a lesson called Going to School, where the children learn about different ways by the children come to school, like Vallam in Kerala. Then there is camel cart in deserts, cars, and in urban areas, suburbs, also cars, school buses are there. So they can make a mind map on it. And that can be done. Then with this, we can teach them about different ways the children of the Indian children come to their school, right? Then in grade 5, we have a treat for mosquitoes. So that particular lesson we can take, we will teach them about malaria there. So obviously we can ask them, okay, now you brainstorm yourselves and make a mind map where you will represent different ways of prevention from malaria. How can we prevent ourselves from malaria? So they will research, they will talk to their parents, and they will come up. This particular thing can be done in grade 9 lesson, Why Do We Fall Ill? Because there also we teach them malaria. Then components of food. Different components they can write, and they can write what nutrients are present. Then in wind, storm, and cyclones, safety measures or preventive measures which can be taken during cyclones, because cyclones are very common now in India. I can see each year during summer season there is one cyclone, and especially these coastal areas on the Eastern Ghats, they are more or less getting affected. Like Afnan was there last year, disastrous one. This year there was Yas. So we can give them, we can lead our children towards that extra knowledge beyond the books, because science is not only textbooks, science is always beyond the books. So we can just motivate them subtly through this type of art integrated activities. Then in grade 8 we have force and pressure. Different effects of force can be nicely made into a mind map. Then types of force can be done. Then there is one lesson called Some Natural Phenomena, where earthquakes, its effects, and how to take the safety measures, that can be easily dealt with mind map charts. Then in grade 9 there is one lesson called Is Matter Around Us Pure? Different separation techniques we teach them there, right? So those separation techniques, they can always make a mind map, because otherwise when they are studying centrifugation, they are studying distillation, fractional distillation, sometimes they get confused. So you can ask them to make a mind map. And that mind map actually helps them to remember all the different techniques and not get confused also. Then in grade 10, we have chemical reactions and equations where different chemical reactions, combination reaction, decomposition reaction, redox reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, all they are studying. Now, each of these reaction is very unique. But when they are studying it, when they study it, they get all hodgepodge. So let them make a beautiful mind map and study it as per the mind map, and see the retention will be much, much better. Then we will come next to model making. Model making always in science we do. So this is a miniature representation of something. In lower grades, model making can be very fruitfully done in the classes by using play clay or clay doughs. And clay doughs are generally, they are part of stationaries in every school. So we can ask the art teachers to lend it to us, or they can do it in their art classes also. Wherein for animals, different types of, even if there is a digestive system, this is for grade 7. Earth, how it looks when we are teaching them rotation, revolution. Then different phases of moon also can be done with the small 2D models can be made. Volcano model can be made. This volcano model, I remember I did in grade 5 when I was teaching them natural disasters. So I took volcano and I told them, you all will bring clay and you are going to make beautiful models of volcano. So this type of model making is one of the things which we can do quite often, and we do quite often. And then if they are good enough, you can put them on the corridors as the school permits, or inside the classes on the bulletin board. So as per the school rules, you can display them also. During the PTM time, you can keep everything neatly arranged. The parents can come and see. When in online classes, you don't have PTM, take all these, ask them to send you the pictures of it, or a small video clip where they're making it, so that it proves that they're making it also. So let them do it, send you a video clip, take those video clips. We have nice tools where we can make a movie. We have a movie maker tool where we can go and use these video clips to make movie. There is MS Photo Story, which one of our educators have taught us. So that can also be used. So use it, put it, show it in your class once. So they will see their own creation. They will feel quite happy about it. And thus the passion will keep on increasing to do better. So model making can be obviously done in online classes also. Now, this is one more thing for higher grades. Now, lower grades we have discussed. For higher grades, suppose I am teaching soil. Soil is there. I think even in SST part also they have soil. They learn about soil. In science also they learn about soil properly in 2 grades. One after the other, 6 and 7 or 7 and 8 grades they study. So there we can ask the elder students how they are going to represent soil. They can represent soil by using toothpaste. Now, reduce, reuse, recycle concept we can introduce along with this activity, along with this concept. So the skills that they are learning, you can ask them to use some boxes which come like toothpaste box, or and there are many boxes which come, the cartons, small cartons. They can nicely use different colored papers, or they can use newspapers, wrap it. Newspaper is reuse, recycling, wrap it and then color it, different colors. And then they can use a little bit of origami also, and they can represent the different types of soil. This is one thing which is edible soil profile. Edible soil profile, all the students love candies. Different kind of chocolates, creams, all these they love like nicely. So you can ask them to make one edible soil profile and show it in the class. And once they have done it, you can ask them, okay, now I'm giving you 5 minutes, just taste your delicacy, taste the soil profile, tell me which soil profile you are eating. So see, this way, this is a very fun way, experiential way of learning topsoil, subsoil, rock fragments, parent rock or bedrock, because somewhere it is again confusing, because A horizon, O horizon, when we are teaching, that becomes quite confusing. So this way it can be introduced in a very joyful manner in the classes. Then comes flowchart. Flowchart is again, flowchart generally I prefer to do it in higher grades from 9 to 12. So flowcharts are again a diagram of sequence of movements or actions of people or things involved in a complex activity or in a complex system. So now here you can see I have taken in grade 8, we teach them under reproduction, cloning, dolling, right? So there you can introduce it. This flow chart will help them to understand the cloning process better rather than using the textual matter. If they are doing this, they will be learning it better. And then we have genetic engineering in grade 12, wherein insulin, how this human insulin is prepared through a bacterial plasmid, that can be easily done through flowchart. You know, these are few topics which are very hard or difficult for the child to remember. So flowcharts make them easy. Then in fiber to fabric, how the fiber is becoming fabric, that whole journey can be beautifully portrayed through flowchart. Then if I come to chemical effects of electric current in grade 8, their electrolysis process, electroplating process can be easily, can be easily understandable. You can make it understandable through the flowchart. So we can ask our students to do that. Then why do we fall ill? Types of diseases can be beautifully portrayed through flowcharts. Then in tissue chapter, we can, types of tissues, meristematic tissues, permanent tissues, then you have animal tissues. Let them make different flowcharts. So when they're doing those flowcharts, you know, they are already retaining that knowledge. Otherwise, which becomes a bit confusing, which is parenchyma, which is collenchyma, that becomes very difficult sometimes. So this way, we can, you know, streamline the whole concept. And so this is for photosynthesis. And then the other one which I have taken is acid rain. So acid rain, again in pollution chapter in grade 8 we have, where we teach them case study of Taj Mahal, which is very important one. And there you can introduce this flowchart. They can draw it on their own and bring it to you. Then come concept maps. Concept maps can be done practically in all the classes. In the lower grades, in a few books, you can see concept maps given at the end of the chapter. So you can always ask your students that, okay, you have learned the whole concept. Now I want a representation of your understanding of this topic through a concept map. Teach them how to draw a concept map, then give it to them. Give them in groups. You can give it as a group activity. Every time one group will be assigned one concept map to be done. So at the end of your session, you will have concept map for each and every lesson, which you can use in your future classes. And always when you are using it, please do refer to your students who have done that work. They will feel good. And otherwise, one more thing, MS Photo Story can help you out here. You can take all the beautiful concept maps, put it into a video format and put it in the YouTube, share the link with your students and their parents so that they can also see how their children are doing. So see, art is something which makes you also involved, your children also involved, and both become passionate day by day. Then comes poster making. Poster making is one thing which can be given in lower grades as well as higher grades. In lower grades, we teach them safety. In I think 3, 4, 5, we have this safety thing. So there you can give poster. You can give poster on latest topics. Like pollution, we can give on why to do rainwater harvesting. Any burning topic, you can always give posters on, and this will enhance them because they will be brainstorming. They will be thinking about nice way of portrayal. And always to ask your students that please try to do it on your own, because there are multiple number of posters on each topic on Google search. So kindly, you have to keep them motivating to bring out their own posters. So poster making is one thing. Especially these posters can be done on all common topics like sewage treatment or garbage, how to be garbage in and garbage out. There is one lesson in grade 6. Then air around us, wherein air pollution. In grade 7, 8 also. 8 I remember we have this global warming concepts and all, where we can easily introduce poster and even the slogan. Then comes cartoon strip. This is one very good way. We many a times we do cartoons, and they children also love to watch the cartoons. So why can't we introduce this as a form of art to teach our concepts? So here is one cartoon strip on photosynthesis. So if there are multiple number, like in grade 10, you can have dental caries, and that can be a very good cartoon strip. Then communicable diseases, vaccination, that can be that those concepts can be taught in a very good way by introducing cartoon strip as an art integrated form. So this can be we can use this cartoon strip thing in a very nice way. Slogan writing as posters like slogans, where they will write it in one liner. They can draw a nice picture to depict the quote. And this slogan writing, as I have told you, all the common topics can come into slogan writing as well. Then we can move on to the higher versions. As I was telling you, nowadays the students in 9, 10, 11, 12, even in 8, they are quite advanced. They like to use ICT tools. So why not give them that? Why not give them some work on PowerPoint presentation? Some topics, suppose I'm teaching one topic wherein I'm teaching them different, adaptations, or I am teaching them grid data book. Why can't they do a PowerPoint presentation? They can always do a PowerPoint presentation, but in this case, you always divide them into groups. Make it a group activity rather than an individual activity. So they will learn how to collaborate, how to communicate, how to critically think, and how to come to a creative and beautiful creation. So PowerPoint presentations, video clips, doodling. Yes, doodling can be used as a good form of art. I remember in one of my classes, what I did was, I said, why do you love science? Who means, why do you love to come to my classes? You have to doodle it and tell me. So that doodling is another art form where you can, they can express themselves. So that doodling can be used in many concepts. Graphical representation we do in generally in physics, but that can be done in case of biology and chemistry also. Like enthalpy can be taught to them. Then I have this blood pressure. Then blood pressure can be easily done with these graphical things. So you can ask them to have to take a chart on blood pressure of different people at their home or in their locality. They can call them and ask, well, what is your your high blood pressure or low blood pressure, and they can make beautiful graphs. So that has to be, you have to plan it before. I have given one graph based activity recently. I am not right now I cannot recall it. I will share it with you if required later on. So we can always introduce this ICT tools into our classrooms as a way of art integration. Now a few things wherein I will tell you what some examples which I have done in my classes, like let's make a nature album. As I have told you already, leaf art activity I did with this way. Then I asked them in one of the classes, phases of moon is very difficult to understand, and there I asked them to bring small cutouts. And we did it in the class. You can do in the online classes also. You can ask them to five children at one point of time they can switch on their video and they can show you at least 1 or 2 phases of moon. They can show you. So that can be done using paper cutouts. Then this one was a very good activity. Let's peep into Mama's kitchen, where I wanted to teach them about simple machines. So I took kitchen. I said, you will go to your you will go home, because that time it was an offline class. I asked them to go home, and you ask your mama what are the different kitchen tools she is using. What are the different simple machines you can see there, which mama used to make her work easy. Take any 6 such tools, write their names, draw the picture, or if you have a picture, you can paste it, and then you have to measure also. So see, when I'm asking them to do 2 to 3 things, somewhere maths is also getting integrated. When they are measuring using a scale, math is getting integrated. So we can always try to do that type of art activity where subject can also be integrated. Now, visual poetry. This I have done in grade 4. With plants only, I remember, where I have told them to write a poem on leaves. and then they have to write the poem in a form of a different picture. So this is called as visual poetry. I remember one child has made beautiful picture of crane using that poetry. Okay, so these are the things which we can always think of, doing something new and something innovative, which our children will also love. And then when I was teaching fiber to fabric in grade 6 and 7, we have fiber to fabric. There we have taught them how to do paper weaving. So in grade 6, we asked them to make table mats. Then they made those table mats. We asked them to laminate. And those laminated table mats, we asked them to present it to their parents during different occasions. In grade 7, we asked them to make different other articles. And here we needed help of art teachers. So we asked our art teachers to help us with this paper weaving. Paper weaving they will be doing because that we teach in the class. But later on, to make articles out of it, that we took help of our art teachers. So this magnificent things came into place. And then this we did in our last school, this school in last year's Health Week activity. We wanted our children to represent. This is a cartoon strip, teachers, and this is a poster. So we asked them, whatever way you want, cartoon strip, poster, slogan, we want to have something on stop COVID-19, prevent corona from spreading. So this is how they have given nice portrayal of this. You can see how nicely they are using their own brains, and they are coming up with beautiful ideas. Now in grade 8, we have one topic called microorganism friend or foe. There in microorganism friend or foe, we teach at the end preservatives. So there what I was thinking, that I knew in class when we talk, I knew the students are using a lot of preserved foods. And I wanted them to tell that preserved foods don't use much. You use it in a minimum quantity, not much. But if I tell them directly, they will always resist. So what I did was, I created one activity. I told, what are your favorite preserved foods? Take any 5, see the label at the back, see what preservative name is written, and find out about that preservative, whether it is useful, how is it useful, whether it is harmful, how much it is harmful. So I am relating chemistry out here. Okay, so then all these beautiful representations came. You can see it right now here. And then at the end of this activity, what happened? They told me, ma'am, you are becoming very clever nowadays, because you wanted to tell us that we do not use preserved foods, and you made us do this so that we can ourselves understand that how preservatives are harmful to us. So that was all the learning. I evolved, I got empowered, and my students definitely. Now this activity I planned this year while I was teaching them cell in grade 9. Grade 8 also we can use the same thing in biology. What I did is, in the class, what I asked them is, after teaching some cell organelles, I said, okay, now you have known almost about all the cell organelles. Which cell organelle fascinate you the most and why? So they started giving me answers. We have variety of tools in our portal through which we teach in school. So I used those measures, and I asked them to write it on the whiteboard or in the Jamboard. So they came up with this. And then what I did, I said, okay, we will do one activity. What activity? In that activity, you have to write a short paragraph on why the organelle fascinates you, and before that you will draw the diagram, and then you will write a quote which relates with that organelle, and this you have to do in calligraphy. See how different forms of art I am using. So it was art integrated, it was subject integrated, and all the forces were implemented, because I asked them to discuss also before doing it. So I will show you how it came up. See, this is one of the art forms. It recently came to me, and see how nicely it has been represented. Quote has been written, but the child didn't use much calligraphy. But see how see the neatness, see the way the thing has evolved. And what is the quote? It is written. It is the little things that count. About lysosomes, the child has written. So this is how you can relate them with the surroundings, with the life skills which we want them to learn otherwise. Then there is, I have shown them one video link I have posted in the group which was of plants and animal cells, and then I have asked them to observe it, watch it, and based on the observation, they have to display the similarities and the dissimilarities shown in these cells through Venn diagram. Venn diagram, they study in maths in lower grades, so though they are well acquainted with Venn diagram. So it becomes an art integrated, it becomes subject integrated. It also, where to place what, which one to place, which are the common things in the Venn diagram. So all this helps them to enhance their critical and creative thinking skills as well. So this is that. It also, I told you that it came very recently to me. So I thought I will include this also. Then this is about armor your immunity. So when the corona was spreading around, I thought, let's do one thing. Armor your immunity is the topic. Now, how will armor our immunity? You are going to represent. Anyways, you have to give freedom to your children. It is not only flowchart. It can be mind map. It can be any other poster. It can be any way of representation. So see, this type of beautiful work my students have submitted me during my last time. Now, we also came to know that we have to do Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat project. Karnataka, because I am right now in Karnataka, so Karnataka was, we have to do it with Uttarakhand. So I thought. Then I kept on researching, and I found that, okay, forest conservation is something I can teach them, and they will be, I will be able to put some values like empathy, taking care of our environment, all these things I can teach them through this particular project. So I asked them to do a comparative study of movement on forest conservation in Karnataka and Uttarakhand. So Apiko movement and Chipko movement, Apiko movement in Karnataka, Chipko in Uttarakhand. And I asked them to depict it. They can use drawings, they can use quotes, they can use calligraphy, they can use different colors. So see how nicely this particular project has come up. Then these are a few snapshots I have taken from conservation methods. This I did them with grade 12 as a part of art integration. This PowerPoint presentations they have made. Then this year when I was teaching them stem cells, I told them about stem cells, and then I said, you will research and you will tell me more, because I don't know. Ma'am doesn't know much about stem cells. You are the evolved people, so you will be telling me about stem cells. So I taught them the tool called Google, and with this Google they came up with this beautiful mind maps, beautiful concept charts as well. Then in reduce, reuse, recycle, we can inculcate paper mache. Then we have popsicle art. You can see all these different forms which we can use very nicely. This is a solar system as in our school, and this popsicle activities, many different types of popsicle activities can be done or used. Those ice cream sticks can be used, yeah, right? So reuse can be done. Periscope children have made, kaleidoscope also they have made using this waste cartons. And so these activities we can do. And now I have already come to my end of this webinar. So these are the few things which I have incorporated this year in my master plan. Okay, so I will just go through it once so that you can get much more idea about how we can use different things. Like there is antibiotics. Antibiotics is there in grade 8. It is there in grade 5, I remember. Then it is in grade 9. So you can use this in multiple classes. Depending upon their mental age, we can reduce the amount of work or we can increase it. We can make it diverse. So research on usefulness and harmfulness of antibiotics, chemical composition of various antibiotics they can do. For higher grades, we can use this chemical composition because they are learning about different chemicals. Depict your information through poster on antibiotics, friend or foe. It is art integrated. Obviously, there is a poster. It is interdisciplinary, linked with English, and then it is linked with chemistry also in higher grades. Design a poster to create awareness on reproductive health among masses. Reproductive health is one topic which is right now taking quite hype in grade 10, grade 12, in grade 8 also a little bit. And so here they will make a poster how to make aware. So you tell that you are responsible citizens. I am giving you this responsibility to create awareness. So create beautiful posters, and we will then what we will do, we will circulate it in different class groups, WhatsApp groups. So this can be done. See, this innovation we have to always bring. There is a blood group we are teaching them in grade 10. Okay, AB blood group. So there you can give them one project like research on Bombay blood group. Collect and collate the data, represent in the form of mind map. Use different colored pens, pencils to make the colorful mind map. Art integrated again, but with that they are learning to collect the data, to collate it, to organize it properly. So they are learning so many different life skills out here. Then slogan on female feticide. There are many different things which we can do. This I have planned for this year for few of the classes. So I have shared a few only. Now, the 5 P's of art integration. With art integration, what these 5 P's are children are learning? They are learning to perceive. They are learning to practice, because once the art form has not come up properly, they will do it again. So they will practice. They will keep on practicing. They will put their 100%. They will try to put their 100%. So perseverance, patience. With this comes patience, because they will patiently do it. They want to make it beautiful. And passion. Thus comes passion. So they become passionate. So this is the checklist directly I have taken from CBSE guidelines on art integration. So what exactly the teachers have, please, you all have got this checklist. If you don't have, kindly go to cbse.net and please do collect this checklist from there. And you always do this checklist before you give any art integrated projects. Activity, it should be, teachers must ensure that activity or project promotes experiential learning. Students get opportunities for hands-on experience. It should be done collaboratively. We have to be giving such type of projects which can be done in collaboration. It can engage the students in constructing and demonstrating their understanding and not memorizing it. That is one thing. Rote learning has to be, we have to bid by. Right? Students create anything new, then they can connect it to different disciplines, which I have shown you through my slides somewhere. Connection should be reinforcing, it should not be deliberate. Right? Activity or the project should simplify the concept. And one more thing which I always stress upon is when I plan my activities, I always keep in mind that the materials which they will be using should be readily available at their home. We should not burden our kids with any finances, right? The students are familiar with the art forms, and if they are not familiar, always we can take help of art teachers. Then students have been given time to think. We need to, once we give one activity, we need to give some fair amount of time as per the activity, whatever activity we have given, then we can collect it back. And assessment techniques, if we are using it for assessment, then the techniques should be relevant and age appropriate. So, as we know, art has the power to transform, to illuminate, to educate, inspire, and motivate. So let's educate, let's illuminate, let's inspire, and let's motivate ourselves also and our students also. Thank you, educators, for patiently attending the webinar. So this is what I had to tell you today about art with integration on science. Thank you all, and I will be presently sharing with you the link through which you can get certificate. One thing I need to make sure here, that certificates you can only get 100 certificates, Certify-M will be issuing at one day, right? So after the 100th one, it will not issue. Again, we have to wait for 24 hours. So don't get, anywhere, please don't get confused that why I have not got my certificate. You will be getting your certificate. Patiently, we have to wait. Okay, so next day again after 24 hours, you can try through the same link. Kindly copy the link, and please request you all, please don't share this link with anyone outside the group. Thank you.
Madam, will you share the PPT, ma'am, in the group?
Yes. PPT I will not share in the group. I will put it in the YouTube, and I will give you